Hello, hello. How are you guys? I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for subscribing to my channel and liking my videos, comments, on all the support. I really appreciate, guys. So thank you, thank you. I was just here listening to YT. I love this song. It cracks me up. It's like the lyrics are so fun. Um, anyway, so that's what I was just listening to. And so I figured I would answer some of your questions real quick. I have, let's see, I got 3 questions this week. Um, well, 2 were about visas, like how easy is it to get visas to the United States? Like, I know, right? No, not really. But I'll share with you guys what I know so far. I've lived in the US for about 15 years now. Um, so, yeah, coming to 15 years. So, I'll share with you guys what I did, what we did when we were applying for our visas, and what kind of visas that I had to apply for. There are different kinds of visas out there if you're trying to come to the United States from any other country. It could be fiance visa, it could be visitor's visa, it could be a work visa, it could be a student visa. I don't know any other kind. Maybe asylum. Maybe I don't even think asylum is a visa. I don't know. You can leave Uganda and then come and seek for asylum, or leave your country, come seek for asylum to another country, in another country. There's also the people who win the green card lottery from Uganda, from their countries. I think it doesn't only run for Uganda; it runs for other countries as well. So those come under those visas. But I'll share with you guys what I'm familiar with, what I had to do, which ones I had to apply for. So one, I had to apply for a visitor's visa for my first time I was coming. Um, that was in 2004, and I applied for my first time to travel outside my country, Uganda. So I applied to the United States. I had to apply to the United States Embassy back in Uganda. So I'm sure they have embassies all over, your countries where you guys are. So I filled out the applications were all done online that time. I don't know if it's still the same. It might be different for different countries, but that's what I had to do. And then you also get an appointment online for when you have to go in for your interview. So what did I need for paperwork? So because my boyfriend was inviting me over to his country, into his family, into his home, so he had to write me an invitation letter. So one, you need an invitation letter from somebody who is inviting you to visit. If it's a company, if it's a business, if it's a school, if it's whichever, they all have to send you a letter of invitation, or a letter of some sort showing the embassy of your origin, that this is the reason you're coming to the United States. So I had a letter from my boyfriend, and I also had a letter from his parents, because we were going to be staying with his parents during our entire visit. So his parents had to write a letter, including their address, including their jobs. I'm not sure you really needed to include your jobs, but at least the address, and also confirming that you are aware that somebody is coming to your house to visit you, and for how long. So yeah, so I had a letter from my parents, in-laws, and then from my boyfriend that time. So those were 2 letters. One mistake I think I did was not to have a letter from my school, because I was a student at the university. So maybe my faculty could have written, I could have approached one of the lecturers or the dean to write a letter showing that I was a student and I was in this specific course unit, and I was in school for this long. And yes, he was aware, or the school was aware, that I was traveling. Maybe that could have helped. I didn't have that. So what happened is, the first time I went in with just my two letters and my passport. Yes, you need your passport before you apply for the visa. Yes, because that's the main form of ID, at least for Uganda. That's the main form of ID that is recognized internationally. So I went in with those two letters and my passport. The interview was super early in the morning, like at 8:30, I think. And I remember being so scared, being so nervous. That place kind of scares you out. Like the moment I reached there, I was like super nervous. Reaching at the gate, going through security, and then uh, the whole place is like cold, you know. So I went in, and only the person applying has to be, you only allowed, is the only person allowed in the interview room to enter the embassy for that. So I went in, and they asked me a few questions, which I think I answered well. Was when did you meet your boyfriend? How long have you guys been together? All those things, and I answered them well. Are you a student? Yes, I had my university ID, which I showed them. Um, and that was it. And so they did not give me the visa the first time. I didn't know what to expect, so the guy was like, yeah, okay, Miss Brenda, thank you for your time. Go to the next window. I went to the next window, and yeah, pretty much my passport had an application received. I didn't know what that even meant, so I called my boyfriend up. I was like, okay, so the interview I think went well, but it's like, oh, okay, so does that mean you got the visa? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. What am I supposed to be looking for in my passport? I was that naive. And so he said, well, what does it say? I said, well, it just says application received. He's like, well, it looks like you didn't get your visa. So that was my first time. Failed, denied, was sad. And so we had to think of plan B, what were we going to do next? So my boyfriend was like, well, we're not going to give up. We're going to keep going. So we applied again. They called me up again for the interview that same week, because I think they called me on Thursday. We did not change much in our letters, but maybe what could have helped was my boyfriend, because he's the one working, is the one who's going to fund my trip, putting in his income statement. So I think that usually goes a long way. That assures the embassy or the United States that somebody has money to take care of themselves or to take care of the guest. So if you have a bank statement, if you have a bank account and you have some money on there, please print out your bank statement and attach it to your phones as well. Um, so we didn't do that. All he did was change in his letter saying I was going to be staying with them. He was solely the one who was going to be taking care of my bills during my whole stay here. His parents also wrote in, I think um, the chief was like the head of the supervisor for my mother-in-law, wrote a letter saying yes, they're aware that I would be traveling with Corey and all that stuff. So they would be happy if I'm granted a visa. So all that did not happen either. We went in, and second time I was denied a visa. This time it was a lady who was like, well, it looks like nothing has changed in your application. You don't have a strong case here for me to overrule what my colleague previously said, what made him not offer you the visa. So I'm sorry, Miss Brenda. So I went back. I felt so upset, and I was sad. I felt like doors were closing on me here. It's like, well, Corey, I don't think this is happening. Maybe this is not meant for me. Um, but Corey's like, you know what? I think we should try one last time, and we shall do something different this time and see what happens. So what did we do? He changed his letter, and this time he decided to be a rebel and say, hey, I'm in the waiting room. If you have any questions, I'm available. Please call me and I'll be able to answer them, which was not allowed, but he did that. And then I think what could have helped too was like my parents maybe writing a letter on my behalf, saying yes, they're aware that their child is going to visit a friend in the United States, and she will be coming back to do her studies or complete her studies. So that could also have helped. Um, So those are the things that I think would help you guys. Your family giving you a letter if you're still a minor living under your parents' roof, having a passport that is valid, not expired yet or not about to expire, an invitation letter with an address of where you'll be staying. If you're staying in a hotel, you need that hotel room. I mean, not hotel room number, but the hotel address. Your bank statement, if you're already working and you have some money in your account and you're going to be taking care of yourself. School, so your school also giving you a letter showing that you're a student there. If you're working, you have a job, I think a letter from your company as well. Maybe one of your bosses could write saying, so and so has asked for leave to go on vacation or to go visit or to go do this. So she'll be out of work from this time to this time. Write you a letter, but also stating that you'll be going back to your job. So that could help. And also this time, the third time, what we did was Corey had to book me a ticket to show my departure and my return to the country. I think that also helps. So if you have some money, go ahead and book a ticket. As long as you are sure that it's changeable or you can cancel anytime because you don't want to lose your money if you're denied a visa or if it never works out, right? So we booked a ticket that showed our departure and return. So I went in this time, third time, with a few more papers. So my ticket, printout, um, and also my a letter from my school this time. Yeah, I asked one of my lecturers to write a letter for me, stating that I'll be coming back for my to finish my degree. So that was there, and then Corey also changed his letter, and he was also present that time. And then what else did we? And then a letter from my parent in-laws as well. Again, writing and asking you know if I would be granted a visa to the United States. So the third time they gave me a visa, which was only for 3 weeks, and that's not usually the duration they give you. Most times they give you like 3 months at the beginning or 6 months. Some people get 2 years, but I was given 3 weeks. But you know what? So what I can tell you guys, don't give up on the first time, second time. Keep trying. It could be in anything in life, and you never know when actually it happens when it comes to pass. So it happened on my third try, and I'm grateful because after that, we didn't overstay my visa. So don't overstay your visa. Like if you're given 3 weeks to the United States, do not overstay. Do not go beyond 3 weeks because then it will become hard for you next time you go to apply. They look at all your history. They keep all those letters, like every information you hand to those guys is kept in their database. So you have to make sure you stay true to what you said last time or the course of your travel or how long you were there. The moment you leave the US, it stamps in, it goes onto your documents, onto your file. So everything is like they still have it. So don't think that, yeah, maybe it was 10 years ago, they forgot about it. No, they still have your information. Also, if you have, what you can stay away from is if you have some friends or family in the United States, for example, that you're not sure if they're here legally or illegally, if they came and never went back, and now maybe they're not here on like legal terms. Do not use them as examples. The embassy, those guys are tricky. They might try to ask you, do you know anybody? Do you have any family members in the United States? If you say yes, they go ahead to ask you, what are their names? Do you know where they stay? The moment you mention any of those things, they look those people up to see how are they in this country. So if you want to be safe, stay away from mentioning any family members that you're not very sure of how their legal status in the United States. All right, I didn't want to take much of your time, guys. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Send them to me. And in the end, I went back to Uganda. I asked for a visa again after a year. They gave me 6 months, came visited, and went back because I was still in school. And then my final time was I had to apply for a fiance visa because at that point me and Corey were engaged. So I applied under fiance visa, which I had to travel to Nairobi for, because that time the fiance visas were all obtained from Nairobi. So I don't know if it's changed, but I had to travel to Nairobi for like a week. I did a whole bunch of tests. They do HIV, tuberculosis, and a whole bunch of other tests that they have to do. And then you also have to submit another whole bunch of paperwork. Your connection with your fiance, how long you've been together, any documents that you might have on your communication, and all that stuff might be very, very helpful to back up your case. Like how often do you communicate? If you have pictures together, if you've been like on any vacations together, all those little detailed things are very, very big. Things that you might think are minor but could be big for your case. Other than that, yeah. So that was my story. I'll continue to answer some of your questions. Be confident in your words, in your speech, in your voice when you're at this interview, because the guy just stares in your face and is looking for any panic, anything. I don't know why it has to be that hard or that strict or that intimidating. So stay to your word. Yeah, that's it. Do not give up on your first try, second try, your third try, whenever. Keep trying until something happens. You take care, guys. Have a great one. I'll continue to share with you more tips about different things. Bye bye.